Hello, my name's Rob, and as part of my university project I'm making this short video about Shisha. I'm going to be talking about what is Shisha, why is it becoming more popular, what the public knowledge is about Shisha, what the dangers are in smoking it, and what difficulties there are when trying to regulate it. So first I'll talk about what Shisha is. It involves placing flavoured tobacco into a bowl in the water pipe, as shown in this picture. Coals are then placed above the bowl on some perforated aluminium foil and they're lit to produce hot fumes. The hot fumes from this coal are then drawn through the tobacco to vaporise it. The smoke then passes through water and then is inhaled out of a pipe via a hose. The first evidence of water pipes being used actually comes from the 1500s in Persia and India, so this isn't a new thing, it's been around for centuries. However, it's in the last 10-15 years or so that Shisha cafes have been booming in the UK, and the culture has really grown and it's becoming more and more popular. Smoking Shisha is seen as a social occasion where friends can come together to relax around a water pipe. It's also generally considered to be more socially acceptable than smoking cigarettes. Shisha now has become similar to the concept of going for a drink with friends or going out for coffee with friends. So a big question to answer is, why are people smoking Shisha more now? It's more available than it's ever been, really. If you went down the Curry Mile in Manchester, in Rusholme, for example, 20 years ago, you'd see a handful of Shisha cafes along the whole stretch of road. Whereas today, if you walk down the Curry Mile, it's pretty much every other shop is a Shisha cafe. It's unavoidable, it's everywhere really. Affordability as well, this is reported in other countries particularly, where smoking legislation isn't in place to tackle Shisha, and people say that the affordability is a big factor in them starting and continuing smoking. Innovation in water pipes is another big factor. Water pipes are now designed in different colours and shapes to try and entice users to want to smoke more. The taste and smell of Shisha is obviously very different to cigarettes or something like that. The flavoured masal gives a fruity aroma to it, and this can often attract people to cafes to come and try it. There's also a lack of policy in trying to tackle the problem of Shisha, but I'll go into this later as there are difficulties in facing this. There are a lot of misconceptions in public opinion about what Shisha is, what's in the smoke and its effects on your body, and the dangers that there are in smoking it. One of the biggest misconceptions is that actually filtering the smoke through water takes out a lot of the toxins. Now this is completely untrue, as it doesn't really filter it at all, it's just bubbles passing through water. You still get much of the same chemicals and toxins that are linked to cigarettes that can cause heart disease and lung cancer, such as nitrous oxide and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons as well. There's a lot of nicotine in Shisha as well. People don't realise how addictive it is. The research that's been done has shown that Shisha smoke can contain up to twice as much nicotine as cigarette smoke. And also when smoking Shisha, you take in much bigger breaths due to the smoother smoke. So you could be taking a lot more nicotine. There's a high level of carbon monoxide as well. The main reason for this is due to the coals being burnt above the tobacco in the pipe. Now carbon monoxide poisoning has been a problem for Shisha smokers before. The symptoms of it are very non-specific. You might get a headache, start to feel a bit dizzy, but if you take it too far you can end up quite unwell in hospital. Also, a report by the WHO has said that a 1-hour Shisha session could be comparable to smoking up to 100 cigarettes. Now this is quite a shocking statistic, and a lot of people don't actually know about this. Most of the risks of smoking Shisha are pretty similar to those of smoking cigarettes, is what people are finding. But there's also the added risk of contracting infectious diseases from actually sharing the water pipe, such as tuberculosis, which has been quite a big problem. I spoke to a respiratory consultant on the phone and asked him about Shisha and the risks involved in smoking it. He was very honest with me and said that he didn't actually know anything about it. So I think this really highlights the lack of public knowledge on the topic. It's really important to understand the factors that have contributed to this rise in popularity so that we can put policies in place to combat the increasing health risk. From what's been found so far, there's a lot of similarities between the marketing used by Shisha companies and the past techniques by cigarette companies. For example, using media to advertise their product, producing a wide range of products in the market and also glamorizing smoking itself. Tobacco control policies have proven to be very effective against cigarettes, so policies should be put in place to regulate the production, sale and consumption of shisha products as well. Advertisement campaigns that highlight the dangers of smoking shisha can make a really big difference. Also, market regulation to prevent things like new flavours being produced and preventing new innovations in the design of water pipes might help to prevent people taking up the habit in the first place. Now, smoking policies in the UK do actually cover all forms of tobacco, including shisha. As part of the smoking ban, this means that shisha cannot legally be smoked in a public place. Now, according to the Manchester City Council, this includes enclosed or mostly enclosed public place or workplace. Big problem with this policy is not very clear what a mostly enclosed public place is. So this means that shisha cafes can actually customise their shop fronts to try and make them more open air by using things like plastic rain covers. In addition to this, under the tobacco products regulations, health warnings need to be printed on all tobacco products sold in the UK, unless it's smokeless tobacco or tobacco for oral use. Now this means that shisha tobacco should come under this legislation too. However, a lot of shisha that's sold in the UK doesn't have any warning messages on, so this raises the question of whether tobacco is being illegally imported at a cheaper price. Now this would greatly undermine the current tobacco control policies. So what is clear is that shisha is just as bad as cigarettes, if not worse. This is because shisha has been proven to contain a lot of the same toxins that cigarettes do, things that can cause things like lung cancer and heart disease. There's also a lot of carbon monoxide in shisha, and also the added risk of contracting infectious diseases like tuberculosis. So I think there's a lack of government policy actually aimed at tackling this problem directly, as most previous tobacco policies have only been aimed at cigarettes. So more needs to be done. I think better public education around the dangers of shisha could make a real difference, as a lot of people don't even know the risks they're putting themselves in. Also, better regulation of shisha companies, as at the moment they seem to have free rein in the market. They manage to put advertisements up in their shop fronts to smoke shisha. They manage to create water pipes at any design they want and continue to produce different flavours of tobacco as well, which is just enticing more smokers to take it up. I hope that you've found this video interesting and educational. Please tell your friends about it as well, anyone who doesn't really know about the risks of smoking shisha. It's becoming a growing health epidemic, and this could create real health problems in years to come. The public needs better knowledge around the dangers, so please share this video. Thank you very much for listening, and spread the word.